in order to play football in the examination. What does it mean?
We don't study what we want to study. Like
What is essential for study? Okay. Plus, see, for instance, suppose you take volleyball. Volleyball is played in a small court. You don't have too much to run. Okay? You have to use your hands in order to play. Right? You have to always look up for the ball to come. Correct? And you are not supposed to use your leg at all, except for running within the small court. All these are different when it comes to football. In football, you are supposed to run miles together. Recently I was reading that a player will run around 7 miles in one match. In 1.5 hours he will be running approximately 7 miles. Now, has he practiced that? No, he has practiced volleyball where he won't even run one furlong. Because he is within that small court, his place is very, very little because he is not supposed to go to somebody's place also. So even if he goes, he will have to move only within that. He has to look up, he has to use his hand. Now in football, he cannot use his hand because the moment he uses his hand, it will be foul. Right? So he has to always continue to use his leg, keep on running. So everything is totally different. So if you compare volleyball to football, there is a almost 100% opposite of the activity. Now this is exactly what happens in our curriculum. What we do throughout the year is totally different from what we do in the examination. Yes or no? What do we do in the examination? Think that. What is it that you are supposed? See, the whole effort of studying for the whole year is to write in the examination. So what is it that we do in the examination? So you have taken a lot of examinations. Tell me, what do we do exactly in the examination?
Read the question and just write the answer.
Wait for the question paper. As soon as the question paper is given, we know there is 3 hours. Right? Read a question and then write the answer. When have we practiced this throughout the year? See, that's why I given the example of football. In football, you have to run for 45 minutes until the half time. Here, you have to sit for 3 hours continuously. Have you practiced sitting 3 hours continuously to study? No. Because a lot of people tell you have to take a break after every 20 minutes. This is such a ridiculous thing. Why don't they tell the same thing after, when you are watching a movie? In a theater, suppose he gives you interval for after every 30 minutes, 20 minutes. You will object. Okay? There are a lot of people who will object even for the one interval in a movie theater. Okay? So if you can sit there for 2.5 hours, why are you not able to sit for studying for 3 hours? Because you have never practiced that. Our practice is totally, see, all our practice is reading. Is there a reading examination? For instance, suppose there is an examination where you are given a textbook, your textbook, and then you are asked to read, and then you are given marks on the basis of that. What you are doing is fantastic. Your practice is really according to your examination. But in your examination, you are not supposed to read. You are supposed to write. And you are supposed to write for all the 3 hours, continuously. So think, when have you practiced? Have you practiced? Yes or no?
We have not.
Okay. So now in future, from today onwards, every time you sit for studying, don't ever read. You are supposed to write. Write from where? I am asking questions which are known to you. Say, I am not asking some $1 million questions. No. This is something what you do in an everyday basis. So I am telling you whether it is right or not. Have you ever sat for 3 hours? Have you ever written? So what should you do in the examination? Tell me. Exactly.
You're supposed to write for 3 hours.
Right from where?
From memory.
From what we know. Right? Now, every time we practice, we always have something to copy from. That is what comes in the way of our examination. See, we are actually judged on the basis of what we write in the examination. Correct? No. Suppose you tell in the exam paper, I have read throughout the year, I have spent so much time for this particular course, I know everything, so please give me marks. Will they give you marks? No. You may have done so much, but they don't know. The way they will know is the way you write the answer. For a question that they have asked, they expect a particular answer. Do we know about what they expect? No. That is where our problem is. So, what you have to now do is, first, anything that you write, you have to write from your memory. Never look at anything. No other book should be open. Anytime you write, your paper to write should be there, your pen should be there, you have to keep writing from your memory. It doesn't matter any number of mistakes you do when you practice. Better we do mistakes when we practice rather than do the mistake in the examination, because that is going to be costly. Every one of us do the same, which is why we get less marks. Because my contention is, every student should get 100 out of 100 by default. If they are not getting 100 out of 100, it is because that they are doing something wrong, very wrong. Okay. The more wrong you do, the lesser the marks. So if someone gets a 0, he is doing everything wrong. If someone gets 95%, he is doing 5% something wrong. Okay. If you don't do anything wrong, automatically you are supposed to get 100%. Because if you know what the examination, in an examination, a question paper is given. In the question paper, will they say, this question refers to first chapter? No. They will randomly give. So why are you studying chapter by chapter? Are you following this? Okay. So when you sit for studying, you should just randomly go to anything. Take any page. So my mantra is read wherever and whatever. No specific order. We always start from the beginning. That is another problem. Never start from the beginning. Because there is no beginning in the examination, right? First question is just there. They may have picked it up from anywhere. It may not have to be from first chapter also. Yes? Sometimes it may not be from that year also. It may be from 2 years back or 3 years back also. Especially multiple choice questions. Some of them may be general questions also. So the first question you cannot say it is from the first chapter of this textbook only, you cannot say. Or first chapter, first section only, you cannot say. They may have picked it up from somewhere. So why is it that you are studying? See, compare. You just compare between the examination and your study. Our studies are totally opposite to the examination. Which is why we have difficulty in the examination. This is a secret nobody knows, because they think that if you study very well, in a sense if you read every day, you will write very well. These are totally different things. Even in our brain, our writing is controlled by an area which is in the frontal lobe, which is called Broca's area. Our studying, in a sense, reading and listening is controlled by the area called Wernicke's area, which is in the temporal lobe. So how can you learn from the temporal lobe and immediately in the examination you can transfer it to your Broca's area? Nobody knows. First of all, nobody knows that these areas are involved. And both are in the left brain. Okay? Because they don't know, they think that if you just know it, you will write it. No, knowing is different, writing is different. So in my program, Mastering the Textbook, I say that first you have to process information, read information for knowledge. Next you have to take the same information for reproduction. Reproduction is different from knowing. Suppose you know how to cook a particular dish. Just by knowing will the dish get cooked? No. You have to actually cook it. So actually doing it is what we need to practice rather than knowing about it. So what is the use in reading 100 cookbooks and not even knowing, there is a joke also. This person wanted to cook. He was staying alone for the first time, so he wanted to cook on his own. So he went through all the books, as many books as available in the internet. He bought a lot of books, big books with beautiful photographs and all. Cookery books are really expensive. He bought all of them and he read through all of them. Then he started cooking. Then he called his friend and said that all these books are useless because none of them will work. You know why? Huh? No. He did everything that the book said. He did everything that the book said. But he couldn't cook one thing also. He looked at the book and he did exactly as the book said.
He didn't know about the ingredients.
No, he did. See, take a cup of water, a bowl of water. He took the bowl of water. Everything he did. Cut these vegetables, he cut it. But he couldn't cook even one thing. Why? Because none of the cookbook will say, light up your stove. Is it not? Will any cookbook say, first light your stove, on the fire you put this? They don't say, it is assumed. Are you following this? But for this fellow, his knowledge is fantastic. He has read everything. He knows exactly how to do. But what is the most essential in cooking is to first start the fire. If the fire is not there, all your cooking is useless. Are you following this? This is exactly what we do in our studies. What is essential? We will not light the fire inside. We just do it for the sake of doing it, which is why nothing goes into us, nothing comes out of us. See, the essence of learning or the essence of studying a particular course is to take something inside you, which is outside of you, put it to yourself, apply it to yourself, and then convert it and then put it across so that you communicate to the other person that you have understood what is there. So this whole cycle is never understood in the whole education process. Okay? So what is it that you take home from this particular secret? What does it tell you?
Practice the way you do in the examination. Practice the way you write.
Yes, what you do in the examination is what you should do every day. This may not be possible in the classes because in the classroom they won't allow you to write for hours together. But when you actually sit down for studying, don't bother about reading. First bother about writing. When writing gets stuck or when you have finished writing, cross-check with what you have written. Later on I will tell you how the information has to pass. Okay, all these specifically I am telling. Now generally I am telling in terms of examination is the goal. See, suppose you are a football player, should you practice football or should you practice volleyball? Obvious. Okay. So, if you are supposed to be a student, your studentship is measured through your writing, not reading. So, 90% of the time you should be writing rather than reading. A lot of people hate writing, basically because they have never practiced it. But writing is so comfortable. Unless you make writing comfortable in your spare time, how can you make it comfortable during the examination? That is why 3 hours is not enough. Because our writing speed is very slow, our thinking speed is very slow, our reading speed is very slow, our time is not enough. Even 3 hours is not enough. Okay? Are you following this? It's a very simple job that we have. You don't have to struggle so much to study. There is not so much. Because, small book, you don't need 1 year to study. This is the question I asked. If you have even the same small textbook size novel, you finish in 1 day. So what you can finish in 1 day, why are you struggling for 1 year and not knowing it? It's because we are doing it in the wrong way. So, our target is, tell me what is our target? For 1 year, if you are studying, what is your target?
To get good marks.
No, it's not under your control. That is a wrong goal. Because we keep wrong goal, we will not achieve.
In the subject.
No, that is not your goal.
To know the applications of the...
No. Suppose you are studying, let us say, engineering. What is your target for that semester? Hmm?
To pass.
Is it just to pass? The only thing that is necessary is 3 hours you are going to be tested. Get ready for those 3 hours. Just get ready for 3 hours. Why are we struggling for 6 months? Another 3 hours is enough, no? Yes or no?
Yes.
In 3 hours, I am asked some questions. I am not going to be asked all the questions on earth. Suppose you are going to be asked million questions, then probably you will have to read everything. But my target is only 3 hours. In 3 hours, how best I can project myself is what you have to think. Think backwards. Think from the target. If I have to sit comfortably there and write for 3 hours, what is it that I have to do? Earlier to that, earlier to that, earlier to that, today. That is all. Later on I will tell you how to fix targets.